I quit my job. I quit my great 9 to 5 job with a great salary to go full time as a time management coach. Meanwhile, I had never even heard of a time management coach before I became one. This is going to be a great video. If you are just toying with the idea of quitting your job, or maybe you've quit your job already, I want to provide some insight on my experience, what I would have done better, what I actually did, and what I recommend before you actually go ahead and do so. And I also pretty sure I have footage from the day when I quit. So I'm gonna find that and do my best to insert that into this video as well. I just finished my happy hour. My team, I'm not gonna lie, it hit me a little harder than I thought. I'm really gonna miss them. We've had so many good, fun times and so many memories. But it was a good send-off. I'll cherish them forever. And of course, did our favorite thing together, drink. So yeah, I felt like a good send-off. Now we're about to go celebrate. We're going into the city. One of our last Manhattan nights. We're about to go to Thai Villa. Handsome still doesn't have his shirt on yet. We're supposed to be leaving in like the next minute.
I gotta wait for the girls to come pick up the table.
Oh, we have someone coming to pick by our table.
Yeah, so that's
gonna
help
delay
her,
us
so.
a bit. But yeah. On to the next. Onward and upward. I'm about to hit my 2 years in full-on entrepreneurship. So I quit my job towards the end of August of 2020, and now we're about to hit close to the end of August in 2022. So which it's just so crazy. I know for sure September 1st was like my first day of full-on entrepreneurship, and I'm really about to make 2 years of doing this full-time. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get here. So in honor of that, I'm gonna share my advice and tips. Hi, if you're new, and also welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. My name is Sade Kelly. I am the CEO and founder of The Fire Inside, where I provide time management coaching services as well as content creation services. And I am on a mission to help ambitious people like yourself learn how to design a lifestyle that sets their soul on fire by learning how to effectively manage their time. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I love to tell the story of when I started my first business, because I started when I was just 10 years old out of necessity and just wanting to have money of my own at 10. Like, I don't know what other 10-year-olds think like that, but I know there are others out there. So if you were like that or you were like that, I hear you. I started my business called Sade Snacks, where I sold snacks to my classmates in my elementary school, and then I started doing it in my middle school, and I even did it up until high school. And I'm pretty sure I probably was doing some type of sales in college. So I just always have been selling things, trying to make more money on the side, no matter what I was doing or if I had no job at all. I was about making money, providing for myself. That was just something I valued from young. And I like the idea of money being a value exchange. Like, I have something you want, you have something I want, let's exchange value. I think sometimes we put so much emphasis on money, and that's truly what it is, right? There's someone out there who has something you want to learn or do or accomplish or have, and you need to pay for it, period, right? So nevertheless, I would always been entrepreneurial since I was young. And then in high school, I decided to actually go to college for business. So originally I wanted to go to school for journalism. I really love to write. I still love writing. But I had a advisor suggest that I go for business. And at first I was like, why would I go for business? And she just saw something in me that I didn't see. Shout out to Miss O'Neill. She was like, you're super business oriented. You've been selling snacks even to teachers. Like, you have something going. You're good at this. You should pursue it. And I had a lot of friends in high school say the same thing. Like, they're like, no one else can sell stuff to me the way you can. And I used to just think it was so funny. Like, I don't know, just funny to me. So I ended up going to college for business administration. While I was a business administration major, I went to Ithaca College in upstate New York. And I'm from New York City, so it was like about 5 hours away. I really enjoyed my time there. And while I was there, I was studying accounting, finance, marketing, management, communications, like the whole realm of business. And I really fell in love with marketing. So I decided to pursue that full on. I got an internship at one of the top advertising agencies. So I thought, I'm definitely going to be an advertiser. Like, I remember the day that when the HR person from that agency came to my campus and she said only 2% of people get into the internship program. When I tell y'all I am so competitive, like if you saw my last vlog, you probably got a little glimpse of my personality and how competitive I am. I am competitive when it comes to like stuff, especially academic things. So what I ended up doing was I heard that and I was like, bet I'm going to get into that internship. And y'all, I was part of that 2%. Period. There was only 2 people from my college, my entire college, that got into the internship, and I was one of them. So shout out to that. So I went down the route of advertising. That's what I did right after college. I did it while I was in college, I did it after college, and about 2 years into my career, I realized it wasn't what I really wanted to do. And I had been working so hard for this position, for this opportunity, and then I realized that's not what I even want to do. So it was really hard, especially like being a young adult and feeling like I don't really know what my purpose is anymore. I had worked like, what was it, like 23 years for this. And then I was sitting there like 22, 23, like, what am I going to do with my life? So that's when I decided to start a blog. It was something I could just share my creative outlet with. I can share what I was going through. I knew other people out there were sharing it. And in 2017 was when I started. And that's when blogging was really, really popular anyway. So I thought, let me just get online and share my experiences, share personal development, share my wellness practices, share travel experiences that I'm having. Like, I just wanted to share my life because I thought I knew I had something valuable to share with other people. And I loved inspiring others. Even at my jobs, one of my favorite parts of the jobs was always like inspiring my teammates and managing the team, not so much the advertising, which is like so bizarre to think about because in college, that's what I loved. So that's what I ended up doing. I started my blog, and then the quick funny story to this is that I started the blog, it got some traction. I got scared about the traction and I stopped blogging for a year. But in 2018, I picked up my entrepreneurial pursuits again, and I ended up starting blogging again, getting brand partnerships. I remember getting paid my first like $100, and I thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And I was like, oh my God, brands are gonna pay me to do things I already love. Like, this is crazy. I can get paid to be myself. What? So I started doing that. I ended up launching a product on Amazon. That flopped, but it was a great experience. I sold Finesse Fitness water bottles. Shout out to anyone who remembers those days. But it taught me a lot. I learned a lot about rejection. I learned a lot about product development. I learned a lot about Amazon. And then that led me down into hosting networking events with my now husband. He was a boyfriend at that time. And we really loved hosting those events. I'm someone who has always been scared of public speaking, but yet loves it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm sweating profusely the whole entire time, but it just feels like the place I'm supposed to be because I feel my message is bigger than my fear. So that is where I ended up going down that route of like, all right, I'm going to do networking events. And through the networking events, I realized, I kind of want to do this entrepreneurial thing full time. And in my head, I always thought I'll do it when I'm 30. I'll work in corporate for like 10 years and then go off and do it when I'm 30. But at this time, I was like, how old am I now? I think I was like 26, 27, and I was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna last. I've been in corporate for about 4 years, and I don't know if I can do this anymore. I think I was in there for 4 to 6 years. I honestly kind of blocked out of my head, but I was in there for a decent amount of time, and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. So what I ended up doing, wild enough, in March of 2020, right before the hit, I ended up hiring my first business coach. And it was funny because during that same time, I was being offered the promotion I had been waiting for at my job, and it would have been really cool. And I'm pretty sure I probably would have hit 6 figures in that position. But when I tell you guys, they told me about that job position, and it was, in the past, I would have been so excited about it, and I wasn't. I just was not. It just felt like I don't even want to take that position. It didn't sound exciting to me. And I was like, I'm tired of just taking roles for money. Like, yeah, I'm good at my job, but is this what I want to spend my life doing? No, because it's not what I truly, genuinely enjoy. So if you're feeling like that, know that those feelings are completely valid. Like, you may not have found what you want to do yet. And it might not even be entrepreneurship, y'all. It might be another job. Like, there are amazing jobs out there. I don't want this video to sound like I'm so against working a job, because everybody needs to work something, right? And everyone has different purposes. But for me, it was just like, I cannot. And another thing that happened to me that kind of shifted my perspective was back in 2019, I lost my father unexpectedly. And I just remember one of our last conversations was about some of the things he really wanted to do with his business and where the heights he wanted to go to. And just the thought of like, he will never be able to do those things, but yet I have his blood running through me and I can do those things. Like, it was something about that. Like, that kind of shifted my perspective on how I saw everything as well. So I knew time couldn't be wasted because tomorrow is not promised. The next moment is not promised. So what are you going to do right now in this moment? And that still drives me every single day. And I think that's why I'm super ambitious. So yeah, I ended up saying, I don't really want that promotion. And I ended up hiring a business coach instead. It was the highest amount of money I had ever invested in myself, y'all. It was close to 5 figures. I never even had that amount of money to to invest in myself, but I did it anyway because I knew I needed the fast route. Like, I'm not the person who's gonna watch 1,000 different YouTube videos and not invest in a coach because I want to save time. I know how precious time is, right? I want to do things. I want to get mentorship. I want to learn from people who've done what I already want to do. So once I hired that coach, I knew, okay, from there, we got to get this going. So that's when I ended up like starting my coaching business. So I started my business, this coaching business, in April of 2020 while I was still working, y'all, because I quit in September. So I started my business in April, and it was a really great start, honestly. Like, it was a lot of new things I was trying to figure out how to make clients, like how to get clients, what I was going to show them and teach them. And working with my coach, we figured out what my skill set was. And that's how we figured out like time management be amazing for me to do. And once I started my business, things started booming. Like, I remember posting online that, hey, I'm doing this coaching thing. Is anybody interested in a free coaching session? At that point, I was doing like free services to fill it out. And I had gotten a good amount of leads. Like, I was really surprised. I thought people would laugh. Like, and I care, but I didn't care. I was kind of like, I'm just going to do it, put myself out there. And I thought people were going to laugh, but there were a lot of people who actually signed up and gained value from what I was providing. So I knew I had something there. So let's fast forward to September or August, because the end of August is when I put in my 2 weeks. So during August, I was nervous the entire month because I had mapped it out and knew that my fiance at the time and I were going to move to Georgia. So we were living in New York City. I knew we were going to move to Georgia in September. Like, September 1st was our moving date because we had, y'all, my life, like, this is definitely going to be on the story time video, so get prepared. But I knew we were moving because back in, I want to say so I had started the coaching business in April, and then like May, June, we saw this apartment go up for rent in the area we wanted to live in Atlanta, because we had always been wanting to move to a place where we can just get more for our money, get more space, have a more luxurious place to live that we can actually afford, because New York is just so expensive. Love it. I grew up there, but it's so expensive. So what we ended up doing was applying to an apartment on a whim. Like, I feel like during that time in 2020 when you couldn't go outside, you just would do things just out of boredom, and we applied for an apartment. So that's what happened. While I was working on a side business, my coaching business was growing, I was working my full-time job, and I was in here applying for an apartment. And we actually got accepted into the apartment. And our moving day was like September 12th. So we were like, oh crap, we have to actually move. And our last day of our apartment in New York was like August 31st. So we had to be out of New York by August 31st. And we had to be into this apartment by September 12th. So we were like, all right, we have to plan around that then. And I knew I didn't want to go down and start my journey down here with a corporate job. Like, that's not what I was coming down here to do. I'm not coming to the Black Mecca of entrepreneurship with a job, right? I just wasn't. Like, personally, no. So I knew, okay, working backwards, you have to put your 2 weeks in end of August. What a birthday present for you. But I remember being so nervous because I was just scared of how my coworkers would react. I was scared of how my boss would react. And I had to talk to like the highest boss, and I had to talk to my like direct supervisor. And I had to talk to even my assistants, like everyone around me. I had to talk to the whole team and tell them I wasn't coming back. Like, it was done. And I had been working with these people and, really built up a great rapport with everyone. And of course, I couldn't even do it in person. So that sucked. I had to do everything via Zoom, which was just like so impersonal at first. But now it's like so normal. And I was just so nervous that day. That whole day, I was just kept thinking to myself, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? And then when I went ahead and did it, I was actually surprised by how they were like, yeah, I see that for you. Like, I get it. Like, they knew I was already doing entrepreneurial things. I had hosted events even in my corporate job. Like, there was other interests I had outside of my work, and everyone knew it, right? So I think they were kind of just like, wow, we didn't expect this. We're sad to see you go. But they also were really accommodating. And I want to point out that you never know how much people really appreciate you until you're about to go. And they even mentioned that, if you ever want to come back, like, we're here, there's always a position for you here. Like, it was just really nice because I was really scared. So knowing that if anything, I could always go back to my job, or I could get a job, especially because one of my clients was based out in Atlanta. So even though I was moving, I could probably still get a job with one of those clients. It just made me feel really good to know that I could do that. So when you are thinking about quitting your job, some things I want you to think about is just like, what's your backup plan? Because a backup plan is going to make you feel comfortable. Like, I coach clients to this all the time. Having some type of backup plan, knowing that, okay, if all else fails, I can maybe freelance a service that I already did in my corporate experience or my past job. Or I could go find another job. It's not going to be super hard to find another job especially if you have great positions on your resume. Like, the position I was in, like, I knew I could get a job anytime, like, if I really wanted it. Also, make sure to have a plan on how you're going to grow your business. Like, I was really diligent about, okay, I hired this coach who's going to help me with this X, Y, and Z. And then after I finish this coaching program, I'm going to implement this. And then if I want to invest in something else, I'm going to make sure I put funds aside to do so. And to this day, I still invest. I've invested over like $30,000 in my coaching business and in my progression. It's just like, it's needed to grow faster. It just is. And another thing I would also say is make sure you have a safety net of money. Personally, I'm not the person who's going to be like, just quit, just do it. Go drive Uber, go do Instacart. You can do those things. I'm not going to knock those things. Those are great ways to make money, especially if you have a slow month when you're first starting out. But for me, I needed some type of security. And a lot of times when you're leaving a job, you feel like you're losing that security. But at the end of the day, that job can lay you off. Look at what happened in 2020. That job is not guaranteed. So don't think that a job is super secure. It's just that you feel somewhat secure because you have a check that's been guaranteed is going to come every 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, they can let you go at any point. So that also is not that's also not as secure as you think. And I had to shift my mindset around that because I was so scared about not having security. And in entrepreneurship, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not really going to have security for a while. So especially that first year, I remember like I had invested $9,000 in my coach. And I remember like I ended up making $15,000. Yeah, I had hit $15,000 in a month. And I was like, oh my God, I've never had that much money. I never hit that number before. It was like so amazing. And then like I remember a month later, I hit like 2,000, and I was like, oh crap. Like so the months will really fluctuate, and you have to realize that like when you're an entrepreneur, you have to be really good at budgeting and figuring out how you're gonna spread your money across a certain amount of time, right? You can make all your money. I love this as an example. You can make all your money in January. You can hit 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 in January and just divvy it across and budget it across the whole year. That's the kind of way you got to think about as an entrepreneur. You may make money every day. You may make money once a week. You may make money in once a month. Like you don't have the same rigid like schedule, or not rigid, but like you don't have the same precise schedule as you do when you work a job, like because you know exactly when you're gonna get paid. So that's one of those things that I want to tell you now because you need to get ready for that. Like, don't think it's just gonna be linear. You're making the same amount, blah blah blah. It's gonna go up and down and fluctuate until you figure out your groove and you get to a point where you have a system going and you're hitting a consistent income every quarter or every month or so. I like to measure my income in quarters because I do launches for my program. So typically I make a good amount like that first month, and that kind of holds me over until the next time I launch something. But I'm also still selling in between. You figure out your strategy along the way, especially depending on your business, but definitely make sure you have your safety net. So I made sure that I had about 4 to 6 months, I would recommend, worth of bills and expenses, money set aside. Yes, I was grateful to have a partner, but at the end of the day, we were splitting most things 50-50 at that time. So I was like, I don't want that to stop. Remember also that you're not going to be good at something as soon as you start it. So that is why I highly recommend, if you're starting a business, to start it while you're working a job where you're making money, because it takes the stress off of feeling like, okay, if I'm not doing well in this, I'm not making money. You're freaking out because you think you're gonna be broke. Like, to avoid all of those challenges, I mean, those challenges still arise at points, but to avoid that, I would recommend definitely starting your business while you already are working a 9 to 5. So if you are still working your job and you want to start a business, I recommend starting it now. And a lot of people feel like, oh, I can't start it now because I don't feel like I have the time. And that is one of the reasons why I got super laser focused on my time management. I was just like, if I can manage my time so well that I'm able to juggle all the different aspects of my life that I wanted to have. Like, I was working my 9 to 5. I was going to the gym like regularly. I still had a personal life. I was still hanging out with friends and my man and my family, and I was still managing 3 businesses. Just make sure that you're open to the journey and what it's going to be like, and do not expect to be excellent at it at first. Like, go into it like a baby, right? You're not coming out of the womb like, I can walk now, I can talk, I can live my life on my own. You had to work your way up to that, right? So think about any new thing just like that. Even when you started your job, you probably sucked in the beginning, like, and then you got better over time. So think about entrepreneurship in the exact same way. Another thing I would recommend you get really good at before quitting your job, of course I'm going to say this, time management. You need to get super, super good at managing your time. And if you are like, hey, I don't know how to get better at managing my time, and you're watching free content like the content I'm putting out, and you feel like you're not sure still how to get good at time management, let's discuss your specific time management challenges, the time gaps that you're having in your schedule, and determine how you can free up more time to do more of the things that matter to you. So if you're interested in that, like I said, please go ahead and just click that link in the bio, schedule your time audit, and I'll be so happy to help you discover how you could be using your time better. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I really want to know, like, what was your biggest takeaway?